it's Kayla.
Hello, welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to be talking about some course registration tips you can use when you're registering for college classes. And as I always disclaim in all my videos, you can apply what you can apply to your school, but I'm going to be talking specifically about my college, which is UNC Chapel Hill, and let's get into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Corsical. So not every single college has Corsical, but my college here does, and that's UNC, so I'll click on that. Here is my favorite part. So I'm gonna make a mock schedule with you guys, one with my major and then I guess one without. Okay, so to get started, I'm gonna look up something random. Let's do Chem 101. Here we are, an 8 a.m. Chem 101, and I honestly like 8 a.m.s, but if you don't, then you can look through to find a different time that you like. But since I like 8 a.m.s, I'm gonna put that on my schedule. And then with that, we will also need a lab. So I'm gonna look through to see if there's a lab time that I like. I mean, I guess they're all basically the same, so I'll just add this one, 2020. Then you go over here, and then boom, there, you got chemistry. So another class I know a lot of people need to take is English. I spelled that totally wrong. English 105. You can click this box over here that says fade conflicts with my schedule. So whatever classes that are offered at that time, you won't see. So like that class would have been during our chem class. So now you can go through here and see what class time you like, and I honestly really do like morning classes, so I'm just gonna click this and add it to my fall. So there, now we have that. And just to keep in mind, look at the location and try to think, will I make it in time? Usually you'll be able to make it in time unless you're going from like Keenan Flagler to main campus. Let's look up a history. All right, and we already have fade conflicts with my schedule, so we have a lot here that we could choose from. I'm gonna pick something. Let's do this one. Introduction to World Prehistory. And I'm gonna add that on. And if you look, it says history and world before, so it knocks out two gen eds at once. And honestly, that's like the best way to go about it. You know, I was gonna add this, but let's see what we can do. So we know world before also works with it. So ideally, if you're doing gen eds, you want to try to knock out 3 if possible. Like this one right here, it knocks out 3. That one does 2. That one does 3. So you just want to look around. So let's just do Greek archaeology. Adding that. Okay, so now you can see here we don't really have anything for Tuesdays or Thursday mornings, and if you like that, then that's fine, but let me try to find something. So here, I'll clear this out, and then I'll type in Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then you'll find classes that fit during that time period. And let's see, what do we need? Let's do a philosophy class. Okay, let's do media and popular culture, just for an example. Let's do one more class. Okay, let's do QI. This one, let's see if we can find an outfit. I'll just type an outfit. And this one meets, and we have time for it, so let's add that on. So here we have 17 credits. The max is usually 18 credits, and you want to go for 15, basically, because if you take 17 classes and you decide like, oh, you know, I don't like one of the classes, then you can just drop out of it, but you'd still be a 15 credit hour student, and that's like a pretty good pace to be on. That's what you want to aim for every semester. If not, then some semesters you might have to play catch up, which is what I am doing now. Okay, so we're looking at this, and I will say that COM 450, it's most likely an upper level class, and yeah, it says right here, prerequisite COM 140. So you probably won't be able to get into that class, and just make sure you read. Some classes will definitely have prerequisites. So let's delete that since we probably won't be able to take that. Why don't we do COM 140? So it doesn't look like that's offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There it is. Okay, so there, something like that is good. And then what you could do is go and rate my professor, which is another really cool website. Let's do professor. So I knew that Chem 101 had a lot, so let's do Anna Curtis. So she would probably be in the chem department. Aha, here she is. So here you can read about what they say about her. A lot of reviews. And if you decide you don't like her, then what you can do is go back to Chem 101 and you can look for a different professor. Okay, I'll do Gary Pilak. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Alright, so his rating is slightly worse, but just like read through the reviews on your own and see which one you'd prefer. I think just based on the overall, I'd prefer to go with Anna Curtis, I'm gonna leave her in there. But that's what you would do if there are different sections. So let's pretend that this is the schedule we're gonna go with. Okay, and then next what we're gonna wanna do is go on to Connect Carolina, which is gonna be the website that you are actually gonna use to register your classes on. Oh, by the way, sorry I have gynecology right there. I was doing a project and I guess I forgot to delete the tab, but I guess I'll delete it after this. Okay, but basically you'll just want to go to Student Center, enroll, or you could click and search, but I like to do enroll. Okay, so here you'll probably only have fall 2020 or whatever year you are. Let's go actually just search. Make sure you click the right year because I have a big problem with doing that. Okay, so we wanted Chem 101. Let's uncheck this. Usually you'll want it checked so that way you don't accidentally get into a class that's closed. So what you would do is you would like click Anna Curtis and then click it for the sake of the video. And right now it says there are no sections. Here are a bunch of recitations and you would go back here 101. So you'd look at the sections. So you guys scroll down. So the second 3 numbers are the section. So here we are, the 600s. Let's do this one. All right, there it is. So we want the 608. All right, we'll click that and we'll hit next. All right, so if you go to your enroll, well, it should have been in here. I don't know why it's not, but usually it'll show up here. And then when it comes time for you to enroll, just hit proceed and then you'll just keep going. And then sometimes you'll see a blue square like this, meaning the class is closed. And if you really want to get into that class and it's a much smaller class, like an elective or something, then you could email the professor to put you on a wait list if it doesn't naturally come with a wait list. But if you want to look for classes through here, go fall, and then I guess let's try to find a first year seminar. So those are usually under 100 level. So I'll do 99 and then is less than or equal to. First year seminars are really cool because it's a bunch of professors teaching about things that they're actually really interested in, like smaller hobbies. So here's a really interesting one. It's experimentalism in global Black music and performing arts. So you could take that if you wanted to. Let's scroll in the middle. This is something I would find interesting for myself. So that would be policy 85, and then I just like hit select, and then that would be added into my little cart thing. So that is the general version for if you don't have a major that you particularly want to do. But if you have a major that you do want to do, you would go to UNC Major, and then you would pick your major or minor. I am an HGFS major, but I will pick something random. Let's do anthropology major. So once you find your major, what you want to do is scroll over to the tab that says requirements, and then here are all the classes you would need to finish an anthropology major. So what you would want to do is first it says pick one from these. So I go back, I'll make a new one. We'll do fall 2020 anth. Okay, so anth 143 search, and that is not offered fall 2020, which is sometimes a problem. Let's try to do 148. Okay, that is here. So what you'll see is that there's one section for lecture, and then there's a couple different ones for recitation. So we'll add this one. Okay, boom, there you go. That one is good, and that is also good. Okay, and you'll see it takes care of the PL. All right, let's look for another class. Great Discoveries in Archaeology, so that's Anth 149. So this also has recitations, and I realize that a lot of classes in anthropology have recitations. I'm not a big fan, but that happens sometimes. So this class is cool because it takes care of 2 different gen eds at the same time, so you'll knock out 2 at once, which is fantastic. So we'll add that, and then we'll pick this one. All right, so here is our schedule for our anthropology major so far. Let's do Anth 102. Let's see if that's offered. It's not. Okay, so let's pretend that we went through this whole list and to see what we could do, and we eventually got to a place where we couldn't add anything else. So ideally you want 1 more credit, and if you can get into this many classes about your major in 1 semester, that is fantastic, but obviously that may not always be the case. So at this point you just have to take like a random class, or what you can do is you can go onto Facebook. I'm in a lot of different UNC class groups. Okay, cool, class of 2020. And I'll type in recommendations. All right, so easy courses for the hours. So you can look and people will give you a lot of different ideas. So let's try Drum 115. And here it is. So we will add that. And then there we have 15 credits. And then what you want to do after that is then go back into Connect Carolina and add all the classes in. And then you will have all your classes in your little shopping cart. So those are some tips you can use to register for classes, and here are some of my random tips that I just use for myself. I personally like to have all my classes in between, I would say, ideally 8 and 12. Some classes are obviously going to be in the evening, but I try not to take those since I don't like those as much, and those are usually really long. So what I would do is I would go into the courseicle, and then I would say ends by 12 or something, and then I'll be able to find classes and make my schedule around that time frame. Another thing is I like for my morning classes to be over a little bit faster if I have to still continue in the afternoon to do afternoon classes. Ideally, I'd eat lunch anywhere between 11 and 12, and so I would try to schedule around that gap so that way I can factor in a lunchtime for myself, because sometimes if you forget to do that, you may have to eat really, really late in the afternoon, or you might have to eat that 15 minutes in between classes, which is not always the best idea because it's really hard to walk to class and also eat a whole lunch. I don't know, but also me, I need my lunch. So yeah, just try to figure out a time for you to eat in between. Hello, Editing Kayla here, and I realized I left off a bunch of other tips that I have. So depending on what kind of person you are, you're gonna either want to take all your classes back to back to back, finish early, or if you want to, you can try to schedule your classes an hour within each other, so that way you could take a class and then do the homework for the class, and then take another class and do homework for that class, and so on. Or you could do the first way, just take all your classes and then do all your homework at once. Up to you, but that was another tip. Think about what you think you would want in terms of how much time you want in between classes. Another tip I actually talked about in my other video, I'll link it here, or is it here? I don't know, one of the sides. But basically, if you think you might want to major in something and you don't have to apply or anything to just declare yourself a major, then go to advising, declare yourself as that major, and so that way when you sign up for classes, it'll be so much easier because there's so many classes within a major that will reserve seats for the major, and if you're not that major, then you will have a harder time getting into it since it's not reserved for you. So my last piece of advice is, if you know what major you want to be, become best friends with the academic advisor for your department. So basically, I'm an HDFS major, my department would be education, and so then I would look up Peabody or HDFS faculty, and I'll try to find our academic advisor, and that will be the person I would want to make appointments with when I want to talk about courses and registration, things like that, because they are the ones who know your major and they will help you. And there have been times where I couldn't get into class, I emailed my advisor, and within a minute or so, she was able to get me enrolled in the class that was closed, which is fantastic. So yeah, just become best friends basically with your academic advisor for your department. And I have told my boyfriend this, and he was like, this is amazing. Also, I will link all the websites and sources and things that I use down below, so that way if you are trying to register for classes, you will have all these things too. Alright, back to the main video. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye!